At 38, I thought I was too old to run. At 63, I became an Ironman. By my early 40s, I ran a 3:57 marathon after a 16-year break. In the next 8 minutes, I'll show you the 3 changes that made running feel safe again after 38, and the one identity rule that carried me all the way to Ironman at 63. Because if you do this wrong after 40, you'll hate running again, and I don't want that for you. I'm Lynn. I live in Idaho, surrounded by dirt roads and hills. In my late 30s, I'd look out at those roads and think it would have been my dream to live here when I was younger, when I was a runner. But then it's too late now. I'm 38. I have 6 kids. I'd been pregnant or nursing babies for 16 straight years. The last time I ran in high school and college, I got terrible shin splints, overtrained, and quit. So at 38, I genuinely believed that chapter was closed. But something changed. I started going for walks, just enjoying being outside by myself. And one day I had this wild idea. What if I tried to run? Just a few steps. So I did, and I didn't die. The next day I ran a little further, maybe 100 feet, and I had this mantra: not bad for a 38-year-old mother of 6. Everything was a victory, even the walks, and that changed everything for me. Here's what was different between running in my 20s and running at 38. I call it the 3R restart, and if you're over 50, the next part matters most. R number 1, reduce impact. In my 20s, I ran on tracks and pavement, terrible shin splints both times. At 38, I ran on dirt roads. That first week, my shins stayed quiet, no throbbing pain like in college. I would alternate between walking and jogging up the hills and then walk on the downs. My lungs worked. My knees didn't hate me. Softer surfaces, hills for strength without joint pain. Walk, run intervals. R number 2, respect the body. In my 20s, a coach said, you need to run 10 miles a day to be a runner. So I tried, overtrained, injured, quit. At 38, at first it was literally one driveway to the next house, and I still counted it, 100 feet further than yesterday. Finish feeling like you could do more. Because if you destroy yourself on day 1, you won't show up on day 2. And this is the mistake that makes people quit after week 2. R number 3, repeat. Consistency, not intensity, not perfection, just showing up. My mantra became not bad for a 38-year-old mother of 6. Every run was a promise kept, and those promises compounded. Within 2 years, I wasn't just running, I was a runner. By my early 40s, I ran that 3:57 marathon. That's a 9:02 per mile pace for 26.2 miles. I started doing triathlons, and I even did a half Ironman distance. Never dreamed I'd do a full Ironman, but that came later. If you want the exact system I used to rebuild safely, the promises, the identity work, the week-by-week structure, I'll tell you where to get it at the end. And I have a free 3-day version that you can start with today. Here's the biggest difference. In my 20s, I ran because I was ashamed of being slow. That shame drove me to overtrain, and it destroyed me. In my 40s, I ran because I loved it. The peace, seeing myself get stronger every week. And the thing is, joy is sustainable. Shame isn't. Shame burns you out. Joy carries you for decades. So the 3R restart: reduce impact, dirt roads, trails, hills, walk, run intervals. Respect the body, 100 feet further than last time. Finish feeling proud, not wrecked. Repeat. Consistency beats intensity every single time. That's the system that took me from too old at 38 to Ironman at 63. Now here's the part I didn't expect. In my late 40s, life got hard. Marriage stress. I stopped running, the weight came back, and I became a used to be. I used to run a 3:57 marathon. I used to be fit. In my mid-50s, after I became a nurse, I could remember what it felt like to be strong, but I couldn't get back there. I tried for years to run another sub 4-hour marathon, and I failed every time. Here's what finally worked. That identity rule I mentioned at the beginning. I had to stop trying to get back to who I used to be and start claiming who I was becoming. Not I used to be a runner, but I'm an athlete, even when I didn't believe it yet, even when I hadn't earned it yet. That's the rule. Behavior follows identity. Most people wait to feel like a runner before they run. I decided to be a runner so I could run. Claim the identity before you believe it. Then act like the person who already is that thing. At 60, when I got that email from Ironman, I didn't say maybe someday. I said, I am an Ironman in training, and then I trained like someone who finishes Ironmans. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how to use this rule in the first 3 days, because there's a specific way to anchor it that makes it stick. And that's what carried me all the way to the finish line. I thought I was too old at 38. I became an Ironman at 63. If you're 40, 50, 60, 70, and you're thinking maybe it's too late, it's not. You just have to stop expecting perfection and start celebrating progress. Not bad for then say your age. That's all you need. Okay, if you want to restart safely, I have a free 3-day expansion guide linked below. It's the exact promise, identity, action framework that I used. I also have the full 7-day Aspire system if you want the deep dive with video lessons. Start with the free one, link is below. Now remember that identity rule, behavior follows identity. Claim it before you believe it. In the next video, I'll show you the specific process I used to anchor that identity so it actually stuck. Because just saying I'm an athlete didn't work at first. There's a way to make it feel real. And that's what carried me to Ironman. That's the next video. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for being here. Now go run 100 feet.